Wait. It's Slacks. It's Astrostetics. Let's get it, baby. Kendrick Lamar, did he lose this battle between him and Drake? Not necessarily, America. Before we dive into this, all of the videos that y'all heard prior to this, they were recorded last week. I just wanted to put it out for y'all. Now we're saying that Kendrick Lamar probably didn't lose this. It all depends on what he does within these next few months. Drake said that his schedule was tailor-made with his manager. We think his name is Ant. Drake aggressively, assertively dominated the narrative. He dominated the situation. We said Drake was laser focused on Kendrick Lamar. Eagle eyes on Kendrick Lamar. He didn't move off him. And that was the opportunity that was not granted to him when Pusha T and Ye allegedly was going at him. When Drake, allegedly, Ye was saying that Drake was subbing him when he was talking about crept down the block, stepped down light, and went to the right. Whatever Drake said in that song, Ye was taking that a bit personal, and he mentioned a few times that they somewhat live semi down the street from each other. And then Ye comes out and says that the thing is to eliminate Drake, end quote. That is erroneous right there. That what's going on? Ye said that Drake would be a super thotty. He'd smash all the shorty's friends. Super duper thotty behavior. And for some reason, Ye took that personal, pretty much saying that Drake smashed all of Kim's friends. That will go to what we said when all of this first started happening. We was like, yo, Drake and Future might be beefing. Everybody thought we was capping about it. Nobody expected that Future, who released a diamond record with Drake, a #1 hit album that started a trend of double albums. What a time to be alive. That album right there started all of the double albums. Nobody would have ever expected it would have been Future. And while Metro Boomin and Drake was having their issues, that gap further widened when Future got in the picture and really aligned with Metro, and they started stating that they don't trust Drake. And what it's really saying is they don't that's what they're really saying. They don't fuck with him. Then to recruit Kendrick Lamar and have him deliver one of the most craziest classic verses. We know Kendrick Lamar, of course, he's gonna get everybody riled up. He's gonna get people talking. He's gonna heat up the social atmosphere. The message is gonna spread. We know what Kendrick Lamar is gonna do. While all of this is going on, J. Cole removed himself. That's why we said, yeah, you might need that ISO with Ye West. You really might need that ISO, that moment of redemption. Aside from that, with Kendrick Lamar and Drake being laser focused on each other, Kendrick Lamar, this is the most pressure that I've ever seen on an artist. People can try to make it seem as if this is something light. Kendrick Lamar didn't really... Drake flexed differently with what he did. Those verses on that tailor-made freestyle, when Drake said the world is watching this chess game, are you out of moves? With the Snoop Dogg AI, that is like really a wild line. Drake also says that the next one is going to prove that Kendrick is a coward. That was what Drake said in the song. So Drake has another song. Kendrick Lamar has been about 14, 15 days. It's been about 2 weeks. Almost 3 weeks. Push-ups was a little throwaway. If we being honest, push-ups was a throwaway. And just the way Drake flowed on it and how subtle he was, eventually it grew on people. I'll be honest, it grew on me. When I first heard it, I was like, what is this? I'm thinking it's AI. The beat was a bit off. It was on a Get Money sample. They took out some lines in it. And then when the next one dropped, the way it started kicking, it was from the Drake official Instagram. It's like, even if it is AI, he's stamping this. Who Kid is on it. Then Who Kid confirms that there's more. DJ Who Kid confirming it was that stamp. Like, nah, this is official music. Drake and Kendrick, they going at it. That was just a little throwaway though, America, if we're being honest. Push-ups, Drake was just sparring around. Drake has done that. When we're talking about I'm upset, we're actually gonna break that song down soon. That song reminds me of Push-Ups, where it sounds like it's just a casual Drake song, not really no crazy metaphors, nothing wild going on. However, when in that song, Drake mentioned Flacco Jody, ASAP Rocky. And now, years later, they actually have an issue. ASAP Rocky dissed Drake. He dissed the heck out of Drake. He also dissed Drake on Kid Cudi's album as well. A lot of people didn't catch that, but ASAP been subbing Drake for like 2-3 years now. He probably subbed him on other records and in other subtle ways. Drake being some people's major op. They're looking at Drake as one of the villains right now. And Drake still being laser focused on Kendrick Lamar, it's still not over for him. And we're saying that it's not over for Kendrick Lamar because if his next release is a monumental project, listen, he might need to get Pusha T on, or listen, Pusha, this is an emergency right now. It has to be something like that mixed in. But see, Drake is really ready. Drake actually revealed himself with this. Nobody can question whether or not Drake is a nutcase. Drake is a nutcase, America. Canada, listen, man. Now we know, don't underestimate Canadians. Don't underestimate Canadians. When he summons AI Tupac and then he gets AI verse from Snoop and then he raps as himself and then he actually trolled Kendrick wearing a Compton Community College shirt. Kendrick Lamar, listen, all of the stuff that Kendrick Lamar was saying and like that, Drake really flipped it. And he did it in the most unorthodox ways where some people flat out say, hey, yo, that was disrespectful as hell. What Drake did was disrespectful as when he recruits AI Tupac. And then, we seen that the Tupac estate requested that Drizzy Drake take it down. So the song is removed. Of course, you could still hear it. I ain't never expect that song to go on streaming services anyway, if we being for real, America. Why is that? Because there's AI Tupac on there. And notice that there was not any type of request to take it down from Snoop Dogg's estate. That's one, because you would deal with directly with Snoop Dogg. We could see that Snoop Dogg was perturbed. Nonetheless, these are two West Coast legends. Tupac and Snoop Dogg. So for Drake to articulate from those perspectives, that's disrespectful. And if Kendrick Lamar, there is no ifs. He has to. He absolutely has to. And listen, he has a window here to actually say screw Drake and just make some amazing music. At the same time, it would have to be akin to something like The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. It would have to be another monumental album. So To Pimp Your Butterfly, it would have to be that control verse where every single song on this album gets people talking like the control verse. Realistically, you can't go at Drake. Kendrick Lamar and Drake, I don't care for that anymore. We really don't care for that anymore. Just deliver great music as Kendrick Lamar always does. Always. They was going at Kendrick talking about how you big stepping with a size 7 man's on. And Drake proceeded to put up his shoe size. Yo, Drake got so... Why you had to put out the man's information out there like that, dude? You don't go around telling everybody your shoe size. Why you gonna go post up that he wears a size 7 in men's and the European size? and the centimeters. Yo, come on, man. That's disrespectful. Drake didn't care, though. And now, we don't care. Kendrick Lamar dang near sucked the air out of this situation single-handedly just by not responding. And okay, we've seen that before. Once again, when Drake did not, quote unquote, when Drake did not respond to Pusha T, because remember, they was like, nah, there was some stuff going on in certain places. People just wasn't really privy to a lot of them. When it comes to just rap, which is what we're focused on, because that's what's important. When it comes to the rapping aspect of it, Drake has not responded directly. Drake took a little sub at Pusha T when he used his ad-lib in push-ups, and then he said that he bricked, but I mean, that's a subtle sub within itself. But Drake was selective. He was extremely selective with who he decided to sub, who he decided to give a bit of energy and attention. We seen what Rick Ross did with it. Rick Ross went on a whole promo run. Drake might need to send Ross an invoice, because we know Ross probably moved like 30,000 cases of that Bel Air. He went in for this song, Champagne Moments. We see what he did with the moment. Ross took it and really ran with it. Did we expect Kendrick Lamar to do what Rick Ross did, America? If Kendrick Lamar would have took that assertive approach that Ross did, imagine he would have shot a video, had on a crazy diss track. Ross delivered on the record. It's just that we wasn't really trying to see that. That we had Eminem and Benzino dissing each other a few weeks ago. And let's be honest, what Benzino said, well, from what I was seeing, his track looked like it was alright. And then Eminem came on the track and was like, yo, look, Coi Leray ain't getting that feature now. So Eminem, his track was alright too, but nobody was really like, oh, Eminem and Benzino is going at it. It's like that with Rick Ross, and with him asserting himself with Drake, he had a track ready in like 2 hours. That was a monumental response, but nobody's really demanding that necessarily. Birdman and Pope popped out and said he's supporting Drizzy Drake. Ross, he was trolling Birdman and Drake. Drake was particular about Kendrick Lamar. As we mentioned before, Drake purchasing a ring that Tupac owned for $1 million. As we said, he probably recorded the verse with the ring on, America. Yo, at this point, I don't put nothing past these Canadians. I don't put nothing past Drake now. I'm sorry, America. I just can't do it, Canada. Because he completely strategized around this. He set up his defenses. He was prepared for years to wild out on Kendrick's career. As we could see, when it came to him, all of his emotions, they completely went out of here. It looked like some of the other dudes going at Drake is just like, all right, cool. I ain't gonna rock with him. This is an opportunity to really create a conversation around Kendrick Lamar's career. And that's what happened. Drake created another conversation piece around Kendrick Lamar, and the only way for Kendrick Lamar to create an opportunity out of this is to deliver the best music really of the decade right now. That's not saying that the bar is that high. The music just has to be on a level where we're really like, how was this created? It has to be a utter body of genius work. And albums like To Pimp a Butterfly, the Damn album, those albums were constructed amazingly. As well, we're talking Drake though. Drake has commercial appeal, elements of the underground appeal still. And with this situation, you could say whatever you want about the Pac verse, the Snoop Dogg verse, and let's be honest, those were wild. When we're not saying that that wasn't wild and unorthodox and completely somewhat erratic and out of here. That is why that set up a gateway for Kendrick Lamar to, when it came to how he felt when Drake dropped that tailor-made freestyle. That's really what needs to be communicated there. Because there's no way that Drake would hop on a song like that, appear as himself in the third verse, after speaking from multiple vantage points like that. As we mentioned, he ran the Inception on Kendrick Lamar. That's a textbook Scorpio move right there. And he had the opportunity to do it when it was him and Meek Mill. I don't know why people underestimate Drake. With that Pusha T situation, that's something that Drake ain't want that. That's why Drake really proceeded to send that invoice or make that a part of the story, because Drake ain't really care for that. So he tried to just blitz it. But Pusha T, what he came with was so crazy that it caught everybody off guard. Y'all remember that? Pusha T dropped the album, the last track, it had some Drake lines on there. Then Drake drops the Duppy freestyle, which was fire. And then Pusha T pops out of nowhere with the story of Adidon. And this whole time, we know Drake building up to an album. So Drake, after that, he comes with the In My Feelings. That was arguably the biggest song of his career. God's Plan. All of this is around the same time. All of this is around the same time, America. Building up to that, Drake was having a great year. And then out of nowhere, Pusha T drops that. But then Drake goes on to sell 1 million copies in the first week, America. So we've seen this before. And if y'all gonna say that Drake took a L not responding to Pusha T, then Kendrick Lamar, what does that mean for Kendrick Lamar in this case? Y'all gotta let me know in the comments. Because why is it not the same for Kendrick Lamar? And what Drake did was, it was almost dang near a back-to-back. Drake did a back-to-back because Charged Up, once again, was not a crazy track. Charged Up was like, alright. You feel me? It was alright. It was smooth, but it wasn't a back-to-back. And after that, we seen Drake. He became like, alright, yeah, you might not want to beef with Drake. You might want to be wise about that. So by Kendrick Lamar releasing like that, and even the way J. Cole went about it, he removed himself from the situation once again. Kendrick Lamar got everything he wanted. Drake is the biggest artist in the world. And he's telling you that he wants an opportunity to directly spar with you in the sport of rap. And when he says the world is watching this chess game, are you out of moves? That's a different type of nostalgic bar. Because if Kendrick Lamar is not out of moves, then his next move really gotta be his absolute best move. And it has to be one of the most iconic moves to ever be executed in entertainment, in music. It has to be something so skillfully done that the whole world talks about it. It has to be something that is monumental, because this is Kendrick Lamar, y'all. all of the things that Drake mentioned in these past 2 songs, Kendrick Lamar has to deliver. And Taylor Swift ran the numbers up, as Drake said, in a tailor-made freestyle. So what Drake showed us was timing. Drake, when it came to Pusha T had timing on his side. And Drake wasn't really passionate about going at it with Pusha T. He wanted Ye. If it was Drake and Ye, then we would have probably got something like a tailor-made back then. But Drake wasn't passionate about that. But then, years after that, when Drake controlled the majority of this situation with Kendrick Lamar, he waited for him. He let Like That go for a little bit. He was doing his thing. He was dang near looking bothered at times. He threw everybody off. Then he waits it out. Kendrick Lamar doesn't have a follow-up. Drake tests the water. Okay, he drops push-ups. Ross responds. Drake trolls him a little bit. But he says, wait, no, I don't really want Ross. But Ross still runs with it. Ross putting out that single, putting it out on streaming services. Come on, Ross. Ross made a little move with that. Drake just said, spend that check you got and stay up out his way. Whatever. Ross trolled a little bit, call him white boy. Keep it pushing. You just know that Ross and Drake, they not on good terms. But then, that's an ISO with Ross and Birdman. And that's something that's another situation. And then when we look at Drake, after this, he releases the tailor-made freestyle. What happened with that Pusha T situation? He really took all of that and used it for himself. And if you look at Drake's track record, he has no problem completely dismantling anybody on his own terms. And that's the thing with it. It looks like Drake, he's dang near unbeatable when he's playing on his terms. So when he knows that that's in the window when Taylor Swift releasing her album, he knows that all of this is in that window. He was aware of all of this from the jump, and he did it around that time when Kendrick Lamar, where he would have to remain stabilized for some time. And now, if he releases another track, we gotta run tailor-made freestyle back. He says in it that the next one, Drake I know I'm not wildin'. Drake definitely alludes to the fact that he has a next one. And if Drake goes for that triple chip on Kendrick, that would actually be something extremely monumental. Kendrick Lamar might have to literally go sit down with Pusha T in a dojo or something. He might have to go sit down with Pusha T. But Pusha T at the same time, Pusha T is one of the best. In that same vein though, I'm not putting that story of Adidon as a strong stain on Drake. They came out of nowhere with that. When Drake is really... Someone could say the same for Meek Mill. Because when Drake dropped back to back, Meek Mill was on tour with Nicki Minaj. So that's where that line came from. Is it a world tour or your girls tour? Meek Mill wasn't really that passionate. But when he did put out the music, his music wasn't on back-to-back level. It was just rush. He couldn't just bring it all in and create something that was going to be a monumental thing in the moment. And that's something, that's a technique as well. Some crazy going on, and you put it into the music in. But Drake did that with back-to-back. And the music that Meek put out around that time, it was fire. It wasn't horrible music. It wasn't on a crazy level, even though it was all right. But that's the thing. It was just all right. If we gonna say that, then the music that you release after allegedly getting a L, that's what defines that comeback. And the only thing that really redeems somebody is if the music is really paradigm shifting. If Kendrick Lamar come out and he not topping everything else that he's ever released, yeah, like dang, you took a serious L. And Kendrick Lamar's last album did 300,000, 295,000 first week, but we could say 300,000. Kendrick Lamar, his next album, it gotta really hit that 760 off rip, cause everybody is waiting for that response. Drake baited him twice. They came out of nowhere and this Drake gonna like that remix anyway. If you gonna spark that up and Drake gave you what you needed in the most unorthodox way to produce a response, it has to be. I don't think I've ever mentioned how great a body of work has to be in order for someone to seize a moment of redemption like this. There's nothing. The only thing that I could see off that is if someone gets accused of a crazy crime and then it's like the music that they make is, this is a weird example, but like R. Kelly in a way. Because R. Kelly, he got accused of those horrendous weird things that now he's locked up for. That's weird. I don't know why he was doing that. In the same regard, after he got brought up on the charges the first time, he started releasing some really, really paradigm shifting music. That's a radical example. In the same aspect, Kendrick Lamar, he's married, right? He'll never be accused of nothing of like that. In that same sense, Kendrick Lamar, he has to produce something that's paradigm shifting. You got to make something that people gonna want to play 100,000 years from now. It has to be that level of greatness that's produced. And if we don't get nothing but that, then Drake really, really ran with this. And that's what makes this thing so dangerous. We really don't know what Kendrick Lamar has planned. They've been throwing around a new album. They've been saying that he's working on a body of work. And Drake is still not finished. That Tailor-Made freestyle, that was just a serious reminder of like, yo, you know what time it is. Like, I'm really not playing with you, but I'm going to play with you in the most craziest, vicious way. How they even set up the like that with Drake being on tour, we got to understand that that was their example of timing as well. Did y'all think that Drake wasn't going to respond before the summer? I'm just like, when did Kendrick Lamar think that Drake was going to respond? The song was already a number one. If the song would have hit number one after Drake put out Push-Ups, that would have probably been a better look. But the song was already number one. It's like, what else? You already got the number one song, y'all. Like, what else we gonna do with it? You know, like, what? That's gonna just promote this song more. The remix, Ye came out, and that video that we did about the remix, we really just want J. Cole and Ye at this point. And that's something that J. Cole would even have to create an epic moment for it. Because that's something that we mentioned that, yeah, that should be done. That would be fire. That could be a moment of redemption. But that's not something that people is like, oh yeah, we want that. We desire J. Cole and Ye going at it. That's not realistic if we being honest. Maybe if you're looking at it from a more subtle level, and then you would probably have to get other parties involved and maybe look at, why didn't Ye go at J. Cole before? Why is it that Ye is going at J. Cole when he owned all his masters? At the same time, that is not something that we woke up saying, yeah, we want to see them go at it and spar and all. Drake and Kendrick Lamar, once again, is the main conversation. Kendrick Lamar, it has to be some next level music, man. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe. It's Astrostetics. Let's get it, baby. Yeah.